Back to Mark Hollop's vlog. Thanks for joining in again today, guys. Hey, we're heading down to the Jag dealer. I know a lot of you guys haven't heard from me talking about the Jag for a while. That's actually because it's been hiding for a week at the dealer. It's taken a week for them to fix it. And I have to ask the question, has this problem ever happened to your Jag? And do you think it seems reasonable to you? But before we get into that conversation, I want to reach out. Stephen Bourne left a comment who basically says, I love my F-Type R. I'm 72 years old and it makes me feel like I'm 18 again. And I couldn't agree more, Stephen. That's the point of all of this. Remember, life's too short to drive boring cars, and it doesn't matter how old we are, how young we are. If you're young at heart, you'll always enjoy cars. If you're a true car enthusiast and we're willing and able to afford to drive these cars, if we're physically able to drive them, it still gives us the jitters up and down the spine. So thanks again, Stephen. You're absolutely right, and that really is the mantra of my channel. I do want to mention it is important that we spend the time to enjoy those things in life, because as you probably know that, of course, I talked on another video about my dad passing away, and you never want to waste a moment on this planet. You do want to enjoy every single minute that we have, because you might live another 50 years, but you might not. So let's get out there and enjoy the things that we love to do and not waste time doing the things that seem to be a waste of time. So let's get into the video right now. So it's been a really interesting week. I'm gonna have to tell you the whole story about the F-Type here. There's been lots going on this week with the Jaguar and all of that. I have my Jag F-Type back. It's great to have the car back, but it hasn't been here the entire week. And I wanna share with you guys what actually happened. Has this happened to you? So I also wanna share with you guys what my first major servicing was of the F-Type and how much it actually cost, because it wasn't particularly cheap. And I wanna share that with you. If any of you guys are considering the F-Type, these are the things that you really need to know before buying these cars. Quick montage before we do a cold start. I know you guys want to hear a cold start on the F-Type. I haven't heard it for a while. Let's give it a go here right away. All right, let's share the story. So first of all, what I'm gonna do is I'll grab the invoice. So I had the car in for service last Friday, and I'm gonna grab the paperwork. There it is. Threw it in there. So the car needed to go in for some basic servicing, as the car is sitting around 50,000 or 54,000 kilometers right now, or that's about 32,000 miles or thereabouts, 33,000 miles. The car needed that interval. So the first thing, part of the service, is the brakes needed flushing. The brakes are fine in terms of the wear, but they needed flushing. And of course the master cylinder is tucked away in there, and so they needed to change the fluid. That was one part of the service. Another part of the service was the transfer case. Because these cars are all-wheel drive, if you had the early model, say like a 15 or with the rear-wheel drive, you wouldn't have a transfer case. But because this car is all-wheel drive, it has a transfer case to split the torque and the power from front wheels to the back wheels. That transfer case is what does that. So there's fluid in there that needed to be changed. That was part of the service as well. And then over here, another part of it was oil change. So oil here they added, there should be a new filter tucked away in there. That's where they... But the way it turns out as well, it needed something else. There was a software update needed for this car, but it wasn't the software for the transmission or the engine control units. It was software update for the infotainment system. Apparently, they tried updating that, and there was an attempt to try to upload the software on the Friday last week, and it didn't take. It actually didn't work at all. They said they were not able to communicate with the computer, or essentially they said the SIM card was bad. So have you guys ever had this? That's something that I kind of wondered about. I suppose it's like anything electronic. There's always a possibility for things like that to go rotten, and apparently mine did. So that's where it gets interesting. So that's just sort of what I want to talk about is Jaguar has been really, really good to work with. As a matter of fact, that day, before we even knew we had a SIM card problem, that morning, I drove away with an F-Pace with the 30T, essentially the 300 horsepower turbo 4-cylinder version of the F-Pace. It was a great vehicle, had all the options, heated, cooled seats, the panoramic glass. It was a great vehicle to drive around in. But the original thought was it was just going to be a daily loaner. The way it turns out is because of the problem with the SIM card, they said just keep the car for the weekend. We'll be sure to fix yours or mine, I guess the F-Type. They'll get the update done on Monday. So Monday came, it didn't take. Tuesday came, it didn't work either. They were struggling with it. Wednesday, they had ordered another SIM card, and apparently it took another day and a half to get the SIM card. So the SIM card showed up on Friday, and they got it plugged in and re-uploaded. Then everything took and everything was good. So now we're updated. We have the software updates for the infotainment system. We're freshly serviced and we're ready to go for the next X amount of kilometers. But, so you're probably wondering, how much did all this cost? Well, let's just start by saying the original estimate for the servicing was about $1,100 for the filter, for the oil and filter, transfer case, and brake fluid flush, as well as they top up all the fluids under the hood and all of that kind of typical rigmarole. There was an inspection underneath, under the undercarriage, and all that fun stuff. The way it turns out as well, they had to take the transmission brace down and support the transmission from below while they did the transfer case servicing. So there was a little bit extra work involved there, but that was an estimate originally about $1,100. I ended up paying about $980 or something Canadian, and it looks like they ended up giving me a bit of a discount, largely for the inconvenience. And the inconvenience being the car sat at their shop more or less for the week, like actually almost pretty much 7 days, because I dropped it off last Friday and I just picked it up this Friday, so pretty much exactly 7 days to the day. So I really can't emphasize enough the great experience that I've so far had with the Jag. Now I'm sitting here at a year. I put a bunch of miles on the car. I don't necessarily baby it. I definitely use it as they're meant to be used, and I enjoy it. The car has been flawless, and the local dealer has been absolutely amazing to work with. They always set me up with a loaner. Last time it was an XE, this time it was an F-Pace. So you've always got something to drive around in, and it didn't make a difference. They didn't ask about how much fuel I left or any of that. It was basically just the car was clean when I picked their vehicle up, the loaner, and then basically they take care of it from there. So it's a great experience. They gave me a discount. They kept me in the loop every single day. I have absolutely nothing absolutely negative to say about the whole experience. The one thing I found funny was the one service person who asked me when I returned the F-Pace back to take my car essentially yesterday, what do you think? How does it compare to the F-Type? They were just a kind of a light talk. She just asked the question, what I thought of the F-Pace. And actually, there's absolutely zero comparison. I mean, the F-Pace was a great vehicle, very great utilitarian type vehicle. It was superbly comfortable. The seats were ultimately cozy. I gotta say, that was a highlight. The seats were great. I liked the accent lighting in the F-Pace. It was a very nice vehicle. Heated, cooled seats, panoramic glass, had the whole 9 yards. It was a very nice vehicle. I would say if you get the F-Pace, probably the SVR F-Pace, you're probably into something that's very fun to drive. But because I had the turbo 4-cylinder engine with 300 horse, it was lively, it was peppy, but it definitely doesn't compare or stack up to the F-Type R. So I honestly have to tell you guys, you all know that I've driven BMWs for many years, and I love the brand. They drive very well and all of that great stuff. But if there's one thing that they can learn from Jaguar, it is the servicing side of it. Like when you get a BMW serviced, what I found locally is you basically get a ride home in a minivan half the time. What I actually love about Jaguar is the fact that no questions asked. Do you need a loaner? Sure, we'll set you up. There's no questions. There's always a loaner available. And it's always a struggle at BMW to get a loaner. Could you imagine if I had, say, a new M5 F90 and it was stuck in the shop for a week? I'd be riding the bus for the entire week. So, well, I know it seems like first world problems, guys, and it's really not that serious. These are the little things, though, that do impress about the Jaguar brand. It's the servicing and the after-service support and all of that kind of stuff. The car has been great. The service network's been great. There's only one thing that really sucks about the F-Type. You guys want to hear the drum roll? What is that sucks about the F-Type? Any guesses? The only thing that sucks about the F-Type is as I own the car and I put more miles on it, I'm eventually going to wear it out, and it'll be very difficult to get a replacement. As a matter of fact, Jaguar, like many other manufacturers, are starting to go all electric, and it saddens me to see that Jaguar is on board with all of that. I really do hope that they do stick with this sort of platform further down the road and continue to develop the F-Type models in a gasoline format, supercharged V8 or better, because the car and the platform is beautiful. And it's such an amazing car as a daily driver. I love driving this thing every day. It's almost too nice to drive every day when you've got snow and gravel all over the roads, and you get cracks and potholes and slop all over the place. It does feel sort of criminal to drive this car when the roads are ugly in the wintertime and whatnot up here. But at the same token, it's so great to drive that you have to use it. You just have to enjoy it. No point in making it a garage queen. I have no intention, and I had no intention on making this car a garage queen. I really had full intentions on daily driving it, and I continue to do that. The car is too good. It's too nice, it's too fun, and it's too wonderful to stuff in the garage and leave in there for 363 days of the year. So that's why eventually I know I will wear it out, and sadly I'm gonna have to be looking for something else like it. And right now I don't see any other cars that really fit the bill the way the F-Type does. So I'd love to hear you guys' comments. Have you ever had anything like that with your car go sideways like that? A SIM card or the dealer network couldn't write to it, or there was a problem in the software side of things? Not so much hardware, but the software. I mean, it doesn't matter if you've got a Jag or if you've got a BMW or Mercedes. Probably doesn't even matter if you have a Lexus. The point of the matter is all cars today are somewhat computerized and driven by electrons. So there will likely be a chance of these sorts of failures no matter what sort of car you're driving. But have you guys experienced something like that yourself? And I'd love to hear that as well below. But before we close out the video, stick around right now, guys, if you can. This is a very, very highlighted moment for me. I wanted to share it on camera with you guys here because it's special to me. It's special to my career with YouTube, and really it is a highlight for all the effort that has gone into the YouTube and the efforts that have gone into this channel and as well my other channel, Exotic Car Play Place. So stick around, guys, and don't forget to leave a comment. See you on the flip side. Oh, all right. Welcome back, everybody. Guess what? Today is the day. What do we have here? This finally arrived in the mail. That's right. I've been waiting for this a long time. It's taken a lot of work to get here. But thanks to each and every one of you guys, I was able to finally get my first major gift from YouTube. And it is a major milestone. Let's open it up for the first time and see what they have in store for us. So let's see here. Open it up. First, we have a card. And it just basically says you've made 100,000. This award was inspired and packaged with great care by Rick. So Rick apparently is the guy that put this together. So thanks, Rick. I do appreciate that. Very much appreciated. Then they have this little foamy. And then we have this cool signed hard paper from YouTube that says, do you remember your first subscriber? Your 100th? Your 1,000th subscriber? And then chances are you do, and we know you'll definitely remember your 100,000th subscriber because this is what this is all about. So that's YouTube, and coming from Susan, who is the top of the cake here at YouTube. So definitely appreciate that. That is great. It's been a long road, but we finally made it, and I couldn't have done it without all the fans out there that continually watch the videos week upon week. So put that there. And then, what do we have here? Oh, look at this. Cool. It's got some little hanger hookies on the back. And right there, do you see that? That says Exotic Car Play Place for passing 100,000 subscribers. That's the silver play button. Finally showed up after a couple of weeks. It's a bit of a trick to get this, by the way. I also have to say, it's not just as simple as crossing 100,000 subscribers. They don't just automatically send it to you. You actually have to reach out to their help desk, go to the chat line, engage them. They'll come online, and then you just comment that, hi, I've reached 100,000 subscribers, and they'll say congratulations, and then continue the dialogue from there. that you basically are looking at inquiring about your 100,000 subscriber gold or silver play button. I'm getting ahead of myself. Gold play button, not quite. So anyhow, there it is. Like I said, I do suggest you do the research. I'm not going to walk you through the DIY on how to get this, but do go to the help section, and that's where you have to actually engage them. And then they send you a code. Put the code in this other little link, and then lo and behold, it doesn't take long after that, a couple weeks, and I had this in my hands. And then we have recognize your team. So we have a little paper in here. It says share the recognition by allowing your team to purchase personalized creator awards. So if you have other people that you'd like to have something like this as well, you can buy more awards for yourself. But this one here is the plaque. Pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of got that mirrored finish on the inside there. This little play button. So it's pretty cool. And again, I just want to say thanks everyone. It's been a long road and onward and upward. And I see a lot of you guys suggest that I should have more like 500,000 or 1 million subscribers. I can't agree with you more. And onward and upward, and I definitely see us hitting that point. Hopefully within a few years. If you guys keep coming back, it's going to definitely happen. So thanks again, everyone.